that voice in our head, we all have it, right? And a lot of times that voice is negative, right? So I would assume that the thoughts is where, that's the control of it. That stuff that you're putting into your mind and where you are kind of putting yourself into that positive state of always thinking of the best and being the best, right? So a lot of times, they say, what do they say? Bad mind, whatever,
Mhm.
how would somebody help themselves fix that? Like, is it through reading? Is it through just being aware and seeing and noticing it and then trying to like turn it off? Like, what advice would you have for somebody in that aspect?
I think it's a number of things. I think one is the one first one is to change your influences. And I'll give you an example that's like kind of really clear and has nothing to do with thinking, most people would say, but it has everything to do with thinking. So
Okay.
people will always tell me, I want to get into great shape. I want to get into great shape, but they surround themselves with the same people that they go eating bad food with, drinking with, doing all these things, the people that don't exercise. And I go, so your environment of people is set up to sabotage you.
Mm-hmm.
So all you've got now is willpower, and willpower does not work very well. Versus, does your environment of people, all or majority of them, take on great health? Now your environment is pulling for your success. What I'm showing you is whatever's influencing your mind will impact your thoughts. So one of the first things you look at is, what are my influences? Who is influencing me? What am I reading? All those things. The second thing is what you say to yourself. So people talk about, we talk about affirmations all the time. And I go
Mm-hmm.
I go to people, you notice you don't need an affirmation for something you believe in. You don't need an affirmation for something that you're already highly successful at. We use affirmations. In my mind, affirmations are pattern interrupts. So the other thing that you can do is to create some affirmations or some incantations that you say on a daily basis that become your pattern interrupt. So for me, when I catch myself saying something negative, I'll
Okay.
automatically interrupt it with an affirmation. Now, when you see that you can tell that I'm working to shift my internal dialogue from something that's been consistent and persistent that I've caught myself saying,
Ah,
right?
that's powerful.
Right. And so it's an awareness of it and then interrupting the pattern with something really powerful. And what I say to people is, don't beat yourself up. Be almost like that voyeur that watches yourself and catches yourself and go, I see you. I heard you.
Mm-hmm.
We just said that, but that's not what we're going to say anymore. And shift it. And soon,
Yeah.
after you shift it, it'll actually happen like instantly, and then you'll realize that you're using a new language. You're
And it
using
will
your
become a habit
right.
eventually.
Yeah, it'll become the retraining, right? Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.